Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to Tawasaw Institute series for this Ramadan 1446, your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We go back to Surah Al-Ma'arij and to the statement that Allah said to open our eyes to our own defects and to give us the remedy and the solution. Allah says, وَإِذَا مَسَّهُ الْخَيْرُ مَنُوعًا. And in another ayah, which means when something good happens to the human, he doesn't want to share it and he want to keep it just to himself, meaning the human becomes miserly and becomes stingy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Al-Quran Al-Kareem showed us the remedy for that. What's the problem and what is the solution? The human, because he realizes that he has limited resources, he does not want to spend his money except where he or she see it's worth it. And when you're self-centered and focused, the only place where it's worth it to spend your money is on yourself, for your own needs, wants, pleasures, entertainment, not only necessities, but complementaries and accessories. And when it comes to the others, they become, insignificant. This is not who the believer is. This is not who you want to become. This is not how you become honorable and noble in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How do you attain that? Through generosity. It's interesting that in Al-Quran Al-Kareem, the word Kareem has two meanings. One, it means honorable, and two, it means generous. As if in the Arabic language, if you don't have generosity, you will never have nobility. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens our eyes and encourages us to give and give and give. It's challenging. We don't want to give. We want to keep it for ourselves and families, and spend it on our children and our, immediate family. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala invites us to look beyond the horizon and share our wealth with the rest of the world. That's through two mechanisms. First mechanism, by giving zakah, which is a specific amount of money of what you saved for 1 year and you didn't touch, the 2.5% of your savings. Or Allah invites us to go beyond that, up to even 1/3 of your wealth, that you will give it in sadaqah, charity. How did Allah speak to our nafs and to our psyche in Al-Quran Al-Kareem to encourage us to give? First, He told us, if you spend for my sake, I will replace it. وَمَا تُنْفِقُوا مِنْ شَيْءٍ فَهُوَ يُخْلِفُهُ. Whatever you spend, Allah Azza wa Jal will replace it. He knows what you spent. He looks at your heart. He sees why you spent it. And then Allah will replace it. But not only replace it. Allah says, I will replace it with multiple folds. Not only that, Allah invites you and uses your entrepreneurial psychology and love to multiply your money and grow, like we invest in the stock market and real estate and cryptocurrency. Allah tells us that I will multiply the reward for you. And with Allah, minimum 10 to 1. You do 1 actions, you get 10, except when it came to charity. Allah promised us up to 700 times more, and that we will see the fruit of it in our life in this world and in the hereafter. Our Prophet ﷺ said, heal the sick amongst you by giving charity. You're sick, you have someone that you love sick in your family, heal their sickness by giving charity. Our Prophet ﷺ told us that charity extinguishes sins like water extinguishes fire. We're all sinners and we all need to extinguish these sins. Our Prophet ﷺ said that when you spend for the sake of Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves you. That your money will never become less, but it will become more. Allah in Al-Quran Al-Kareem encouraged us so much to give for His sake and in His name. And in the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ was Kareem. He was always generous and honorable, but he was the most generous in the month of Ramadan. The more you give, it's a sign language that I am giving. It shows that you are detached, that you don't drive your sense of security and your sense of strength and your sense of peace from your wealth, that you have no problem giving it away for the sake of Allah. Why? Because you drive your sense of security, your sense of strength, your sense of peace and happiness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah's wealth and Allah's resources will never run. Allah tells us in the Quran, in an ayah that makes me smile, قل لو أنتم تملكون خزائن رحمة ربي لأمسكتم خشية الإنفاق وكان الإنسان قتورا. Say, if you are the one who owns the treasures of Allah's mercy, you would have held back in fear of spending, because the human doesn't want to spend because he thinks he's going to run away and run out of money. So Allah said, even if I give you my own resources, you will still not spend unless you have that relationship with Allah. That relationship will make you giving, generous, and subhanAllah, you will start diving into an experience with Allah. You give and you will see that Allah gives you. Give and you will see that Allah gives you back multiple folds. And that you almost, one of the ways you multiply your money and invest your money is you give it as charity, because you literally realize from real life events that every time you give, Allah will give you multiple folds. So it becomes like investing in a company or in a stock, that every time you invest in that stock, the price keeps on going up and you keep on making more money. Who doesn't want that? And that's how Allah, interestingly, speaks to our psyche in the Quran. May Allah Azza wa Jal make us from those who are, in His eyes, al-kurama, al-mukramun, ibadihi al-mukramun, which means His honored servants. And may Allah make us from al-muttaqeen in this month of Ramadan. May Allah help us to liberate ourselves from attachment to our wealth, to attachment to Him. And may Allah make our sense of security and peace and happiness from Him and His relationship with us. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.